So have you ever had the situation where there's a large macOS update and you have several Macs in your house and each one has to download the update? It could take a while if you have a slower connection. It would be great if you could just download it once and then the other Macs can access it. Well, actually macOS High Sierra has this feature and more. It's called content caching. And you get to it in System Preferences by going to Sharing and then look for Content Caching on the left. I have it turned on here and you can see the green light is on, which won't come on right away. It takes a little while to get started. And basically what content caching does is it will store local copies of things like macOS updates, app downloads, even your iCloud data like files and photos and things like that on your Mac's hard drive. So you only want to do this if you have a Mac that has a large hard drive. If you already are limited with space on say a MacBook or something, then this isn't for you. But if you have a desktop Mac and it's got a big hard drive and you have plenty of extra space, then you can use this. You can also use an external drive. If you go to Options here, you can edit the cache location and use an external drive for this. And you can limit how much space is used for this cache on your drive. Unlimited allows your Mac to just basically manage it itself and use any extra space available. But if I limit it all the way down to 2 gigs, then it will basically only have the latest stuff on there, or maybe get rid of stuff it doesn't think it needs anymore. And basically you can set it to all content, shared content, or only iCloud content. Shared content would be things like macOS updates, also iPhone updates and things like that will be stored as well. And also apps. iCloud content will be things like your files and photos. Now think how great this is. If you use iCloud Photo Library you may have everything on your Mac and be able to view it there easily. But on your iPhone you're just pulling the photos from the internet as you browse through them. If you're in your house, this way it's getting those photos actually from your Mac, not actually pulling them all the way from iCloud. So it would be a lot faster because typically the network in your house is a whole level of magnitude or two faster than actually accessing data on the internet. So this is a really handy function to be able to have, especially if you have a Mac like mine that has plenty of hard drive space. Now, Apple has all sorts of information about the details of this feature. So you can find it here. I'll include a link to this on the MacMost post where they detail what content caching is, how it works, give some examples and things like that. Even some complex situations and how it works. So it tells you all this information and also it tells you about how you can view the logs for it and the statistics for it. One way to do that is to go into Activity Monitor, and under Activity Monitor you can actually switch to Cache, which is only there if you have content caching turned on. And this shows you things like in the last 30 days, 7 days, and 24 hours how much the cache has been used. So you can see if it's getting used, if it's actually helping you. So you can read a lot more about this feature. You can enable it if you want and speed up download. This is especially great if you have a lot of hard drive space and if you have lots of Apple devices in your house.